Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer, born May 21st, 1960, died November 28, 1994. This is Blenderstyle, the show where we discuss an extreme blend of music. On this episode, Macabre, Dahmer, released 2000. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, gentlemen, I've always kind of been familiar with the band Macabre. Your brother Kai is a fan.
I have never heard this band.
You had to have.
I probably did. I just don't remember.
With Kai around, you've had to have.
Yeah, he loves the song Hitchhiker. Our buddy Will is also in the Macabre, and it's kind of been in my radar, but I was never really a fan. But I watched Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer Story on Netflix, that show.
That's a good show.
Did you guys watch it?
I did.
Yes.
I fucking love that show. I don't really watch TV that much, so occasionally I'll just pick up a series, and if it's like got 6 seasons or some shit, I'm not interested.
Netflix
It's just
TV.
like way too much. But this was like 10 episodes, that's it. I'm like, I can handle 10 episodes.
And then you
I
start
like the
watching their
miniseries.
4-hour episodes.
Yeah, thankfully they weren't. They were like less than an hour. So I watched the whole series. I thought it was great. And then around like it's 10 episodes, and around like maybe halfway through or more than halfway through, I was like, oh yeah, Macabre had that album Dahmer. And so I went and like started checking it out. And then I realized it was like very like factually correct. Like it's a concept album, but it's also in chronological order. So I had to stop listening to it because I'm like, it's going to spoil the show for me.
Like I'm going to get ahead of the show.
Because it was like Jeffrey Dahmer in the chocolate factory. I'm like, oh, he worked at the chocolate factory. I remember that episode. And I was like, then I caught the title, the last song, The Brain. I'm like, The Brain. I'm like, oh, this is going to spoil it.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching it. I listened to it, and then I finished the series. Then I went and listened to it, and I'm like, I got to do it. I got to bring it to Blenderstyle. This shit's fucking bizarre, dude.
So this album was recorded and mixed in 13 days, which I think is pretty cool. And you're right, it's a concept album chronicling the life of Jeffrey Dahmer in chronological order.
Yeah.
Kind
of.
This band formed in 1985. They've had no lineup changes since.
Power
their
trio.
So I am not familiar with this band. I mean, I guess my brother listens to it a lot. I
think so.
I could probably tell you if I heard it, but I just off the top of my head, I don't know that I've heard it. Yeah, so I was kind of interested in this because, like you said, watching the show was kind of cool, and I figured, oh, okay, this will be an easy listen, it'll be fun or whatever. This thing's all over the place.
Yeah, my introduction to this was the album cover. I saw it on some kid's binder, I think it was. He had like a slip in the plastic thing that you could on your binder or whatever in high school or whatever.
Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of creepy, right?" And then I checked the band out, and that's kind of like where it was like kind of crammed down my throat. There was like people around me that were like really into it. You know what I mean? When I was younger, so that's how I heard about it.
Yeah, Macabre is known for like doing serial killer music. I haven't listened to much of their stuff. They had an album came out, I think it was last year. It was pretty rad. Their genre is kind of hard to pinpoint. It's like thrash metal, kind of. It's death metal, kind of. And it's even kind of grindcore.
And it's very nursery rhymey.
And then they like do wacky like songs. Like Jeffrey Dahmer in the Chocolate Factory is like the Oompa Loompa song.
Yeah.
And
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
Yeah, so there's weirdo songs on it. This shit's long as fuck too.
It is a long
26 songs, but it's like 51 minutes. So most are almost 52 minutes. So most of this stuff is pretty short. But there are some bangers on this, dude. Like some songs I keep going back to and listening to over and over again.
Yeah, so it's got a good energy throughout the whole album.
It's fun, ironically.
And that's probably the thing I hate about it is that it's fun.
Because it's such fucked up content.
Well, because it starts off amazing, like the first 2 songs.
Dog Guts and
even
Hitchhiker.
Even in the Army Now is decent.
Which is a joke. So his grandmother's house is a joke.
But then and it gets to those jokey songs, and I'm just like, seriously?
Does it kind of ruin it for you?
To me, it does. But at the same time, there's enough of the good stuff in there to make up for it.
So I thought that too. Like, I was like, do the joke songs bug me? But like, I'd be listening to them while driving or whatever. I'm like, this song's stupid. And I look and it's only got like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just let it play. Like, it kind of works. Maybe it takes away from the edge of the music. Like, it's not trying to be super brutal.
Uh-huh.
They're like trying to make
and
it.
Maybe it's like on RoboCop where they put those commercials in there to get rid of their X rating.
Good example.
They put these funny songs in there to get away from having their parental advisory sticker.
But like the RoboCop movie, I think that really adds a deeper element to this.
Does,
like a surrealism or whatever.
The vocals are really good on this. You
like the vocals?
I actually love all the different voices they use.
Because he does like this high pitch, like
I love that because it's so bad, it's so good.
It's like pretty bad,
but it's so bad, it's good.
I went back to the earlier stuff.
Sounds like Jeffrey Dahmer having a fit. Nah, this isn't dog guts. This is dog shit.
Oh.
You didn't like this?
This is so bad.
Oh,
this is like, and I'm like into serial killers. I'm into this shit. This sounds like a fucking high school band getting together. The recording sounds like they did it in 2 days, not 13. This is complete and utter dog shit. The only thing good about this is the fucking cover. The album artwork.
See, I thought the guitar work and the drums were good throughout this.
The drums sound good.
I love the transitions, like the transitions from like the different like speeds and stuff. They did a really good job on.
I think of Pirates, not Dahmer, when I hear this.
I will say that the band members' names are fucking stupid.
Yeah, Corporate Death,
Nefarious, and Dennis the Menace. Come on, dude.
They were probably in high school when they named them.
In 85, they were 5. They're like, let's form a band.
The guy, Corporate Death, I think he plays guitar and he sings. And he
guitar vocals.
He performs with like one of those like...
Oh, does he really?
Like boy band mics.
The Madonna mics?
Yeah,
Madonna
mics.
Yeah, he doesn't use a mic stand. And he still does it to this day, from what I understand. You didn't like the...
No, this is horrible.
So
the first song is like good.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, I tried listening to this when I was younger, and I thought it was shit then. Like, I definitely think it's shit now. Like, I could, like, fucking, it's Little Pig, let me in. It's fucking
Green
Jelly.
They played the shit out of that Aftershock. And I remember walking through and everybody was singing along with that.
Green Jelly played at Aftershock?
Well, no, they were on the
playing,
PA in between bands and stuff. They were playing it. Everybody you walked through.
Dude, this band is so thankful that Dahmer show came out. Because all of a sudden, people are listening to him.
We're
Spotify. We're talking about him. Ugh, dog shit.
Dog guts.
Yeah.
Dog shit.
Okay, but dog shit.
Wait, dude, tell me you got an appreciation for like you can listen to this album and read the lyrics and know the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm into serial killers and I'm like know the Dahmer story, and I thought, okay, I got to read the lyrics because I can't. Dude, this is fucking almost an hour of shit. And so I was like, I got to find something that I could talk about, because the first obviously 2 minutes of this I had nothing to even say. Like. So I'm reading the lyrics. I'm like, there's got to be something good, right? And the lyrics are horrible too. They repeat themselves. Like they could, like it's very kid-like. And I get what they're trying to do.
It's
like,
immature. You're saying?
Yes, very immature. And I get that, and I understand.
That's one of my notes on here. I put lyrics are good, but also extremely bad at times.
Right? There are like good, like
There's
some lines.
part.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty cool.
And then it goes like McDahmer's.
That song sucks.
It's like, seriously.
That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's like...
This is dog shit. I'm sorry. I was on the way over here. I was talking to Heidi about it, and my wife, and I was like, I don't know what to do.
It's funny that it's funny that you like this so much. You don't even have notes for it. You're just like, no.
They're off to the side. I had to like. That's what I have. My likes, the concept, the drums sound good.
Drums are good.
Yeah,
The
my
guitars are-
rating, and I
some of
probably
the-
overrated it.
Some of the songwriting, I mean, if you could take the lyrical content out of this, some of the musical parts are really good on it. I have to give them that. Like, there's a really cool.
I like that it's
But
like
mixture of thrash
the
and
guitars
stuff.
are real low in the mix.
They are.
The vocals are way too high, and it sounds, what's that Adam Sandler,
Waterboy.
water, like, come on, this is so bad. So bad.
I'm with Casey. I kind of like it. I heard this back in like early 2000s. I was like, the fuck? Like when Will was telling me about it. And I was just like, the vocals are weird. But like after listening to it again, they kind of grow on me like quickly. Like I got over it quick and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I have to agree. The vocals are weird. And when I first listened to it, that high pitched thing that he does, like the Waterboy shit, it bugged me. But then as I got listening to it, it actually isn't so bad. It kind of grew on me, and it became to where that's probably my favorite vocal part of it.
I think this is just low hanging fruit. I think they easily, like, they took a concept and they don't know how to play that well, and they had fun with it. I'm glad they did. They probably had sleepovers and jerked each other off, and they did this album. But it's just very low hanging fruit to me.
See,
they're like, oh,
like it's easy.
Yeah, like, oh, we're gonna take this crazy concept and be like funny about it. It's like this could be in a Hot Topic or something.
And
like,
see, I have a completely different feeling about it. I feel like these guys are talented as musicians, but they're not confident enough to write their stuff to make, and so they poke fun of it and they make fun of it to kind of draw the attention off of it. And so now it's easier to be that shock band than it is to be a skilled, talented band, because there's some really good guitar and drum work throughout it. The recording quality isn't great throughout the whole thing.
I went back to the earlier stuff, and there's like way shreddy guitar.
Yeah, I think these guys are great musicianship wise, but I think just the not seriousness of it and them taking themselves as a joke, and it might just be having fun with it or whatever, and they could really care less. But at the same time, I would love to see them do something serious.
I think you should check out their more recent albums.
Okay.
Something Circus. We'll put it on the screen. But like, I feel like this band is perpetually always like underground. They're never gonna like get to the point where they're doing like high production and stuff like that. They're always just kind of like not quite there.
Well, so when
low production is grind and thrash and death metal. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not the production that's necessarily bad. The mix is definitely a little bad. Like they're like, oh, we got some quirky, funny lyrics. We're gonna, bring that up, when they should have probably brought that down and maybe brought the guitars up. Dude, they literally took an awesome concept and shat on it. Like, and maybe that's like their point. Like,
I think that's like the point, because it's always kind of been jokey.
Yeah, but dude, Guar's a joke and way better than this.
Guar's sick as fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is, for being lazy, this is way too long. Like it's lazy. It's just low hanging fruit. You don't think it's like fun and entertaining? No, not at all.
So I kind of want to touch on Matt's these guys are perpetually underground comment, because it makes sense, because when I tried to find what record label this was released on, I think this was self-produced. I don't know,
probably,
because you go to the Metal Encyclopedia. Hammer Heart Records is one. Napalm Records is another release.
It's probably been re-released.
Yeah, it's been re-released, but the only ones I found for 2000 when this album came out was Hammer Heart Records. I've never heard of them.
It's like they don't take themselves serious enough to be a serious band.
Yeah.
So they're not like I'm willing to bet these guys have decent like real jobs, like day jobs.
Oh yeah.
And they just do this shit for fun.
They're probably like engineers and shit.
They probably don't care. You know what I mean? They're like, we're not trying to like do a serious like Dahmer album. We're just like fucking around.
Yeah.
Well,
and it has that element. Like, this is like your friend's band. You're like, yeah, let's go check out Macabre, do some fucking weird songs at the bar over here.
And these guys have been
and I'll
around
end up
since,
getting drunk outside.
And these guys have been around since '85, and they have how many albums? It was like a ridiculous amount. I counted. I didn't write it down. I wish I would have, but they have a lot of albums. So that kind of touches on it. And
people only know of one.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I think it's kind of like Matt said. These guys just do it as kind of a pastime. I don't necessarily know that they're releasing.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like they're underground for the sake of being underground.
Right. Like, I bet they have like a pretty tight fan base, but it's not very big. That's the sense I get.
Mm-hmm.
But the show has
their mom and dad goes to their shows and stuff. So,
yeah.
And friends.
Yeah. And their
kids.
They tour cheap because there's only 3 of them.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a mic stand. I mean, there's not a lot of gear to carry around.
Well, they're from Chicago, so they got
he doesn't have a mic
city.
stand.
Just puts the...
He's like, I just want everything that I can fit in my backpack or my fanny pack, and that's all my instrument.
And they're just like, they're nerds into like serial killer shit, and the guy can play guitar.
I just feel like there's bands that also have goofy lyrics and they have goofy, but not even like that. Even Cephalic Carnage, you know what I mean? Not all their lyrics are very serious, you know what I mean?
Right.
There's humor in grindcore, especially, you know what I mean? Grindcore has a lot of humor to it. I mean, but it's taken a little bit more seriously. And I think this just needs a little bit more serious. And also some of this sounds like Long John Silver and like Pirates, and like it doesn't sound like Dahmer. Like, this is a Dahmer album that sounds nothing like Dahmer. The lyrics are Dahmer,
fair criticism.
and it's nothing like Dahmer.
But Dahmer listened to 80s synth pop.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't. I get what you're saying.
He also ate dicks. Like. Not a bright man.
Like Slayer. Slayer does like a lot of serial killer stuff, and it sounds like serial killer music.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, it's just, I don't know, man.
This is like silly serial killer.
And it just doesn't, it's not appealing to the ear. Like, there's times where I was just like,
it's like shrill.
Oh, and I gotta listen to this for about an hour?
So what did you like about it, Nate?
It ended. I honestly probably I am hating on this because it's dog shit, but I give it a 2.0. I got to give it a 2.0 because the musicianship is good. The drums, surprisingly, like the fucking drums sound really good. Like if they just like erased everything but the drums and put new guitar tracks, new songs over that, it'd be really cool. And you could even keep the lyrics in some parts. Sorry guys, it's a 2.0. It happened in 2000 and it should stay in 2000.
Casey?
I gave it a 3.6. I thought it was enjoyable. I would have to agree where Nate's coming from. Everything he said was exactly how I felt the first like 2 or 3 times I listened to it. But it is catchy. It grows on you. It grows on you a lot. My issue with it is those nursery rhyme songs. I feel like it really fucks up the whole vibe and makes this more of a happy something you put for nursery rhymes for your kid when they're in their crib going to bed. I don't know that it's necessarily a metal album based off that, but the parts that are metal, and the songwriting is good on those. 3.6.
I give it a 3.9 out of 5. I think it's fun and entertaining. I like that the genre is hard to pinpoint. Mm-hmm. It's like metal-ish, right? And it's grindcore-ish, death metal, thrash. It's like really kind of...
That's what's bad about it, though. You know what I mean? That it moves so different. Everything is so it's not a concept. It's a concept album without being a concept. Weird Al, you should listen to Bad Hair Day by Weird Al. That's a better fucking album than this.
I think it's fun and entertaining, and I think it's... they could definitely cut a lot of the fat. They could make this like a 40-minute album and it'd be way tighter and more interesting. But I like that they're just like fucking around on it too. Like
I like that they don't give a fuck. That they threw it out there.
Yeah, it's a certain charm to it, I guess. I wouldn't say it's like brilliant. It's not brilliant music or anything like that, but it is like I don't know, there's something like endearing about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they're kind of like getting some buzz based off this show.
Yeah.
And I thought the show was great too, and I'm glad it's like pushing more people to Macabre. They're like kind of milking it, which I think is smart. 3.9 for me, guys. I thought it was fun.
These guys are getting reissues of their vinyl. They are taking time. You know, it for somebody to get vinyl pressed, it takes a long time right now. These guys are cutting in line of real motherfuckers putting out some albums. That's all I gotta say, dude. I wish I liked it better.
This is Blenderstyle. That was Macabre Dahmer.
I feel dumber for listening to it.